Hi, remember greetings to everybody. I am not going to be here for long. I needed to make a review about the concert that happened yesterday. We were celebrating Mopao. You know, he was performing at the Stade Bodouin, and it was also coincidentally falling on the eve of his birthday, because today is when he's officially 70. But I think the date coincided, or probably that is how he wanted for the event to be around the time when he was now turning 70, which I think was a two-in-one. It's like killing two birds with a stone. And I think he couldn't have gone better, according to me. The last time Koffi Olomide had a concert was last year in September. Last year in September, he had a concert again in Brussels at the ENG Arena. And then in November last year, he also did an event where they were commemorating 39 years of Katelate, which those who follow me already know that was formed in 1986. It was 39 years as at last year, and now we're getting to the 40th year of Katelate International. Guys, please stop requesting for guests, because I just want to make my own point and then save it up, and then probably I'll put it on my YouTube channel for those that want to follow up on my analysis of the concert that happened yesterday. Before I start with the concert, I think there are some facts that we need to put across. There are facts that we need to agree together. One of them is that it is not easy to pull up a concert at that age, at 70. Those artists that are active at the moment, who are like 40 years or 50 years or 30 years, there is no assurance that they would be able to pull up a concert when they reach 70. Another fact that we need to accept is that the artists that we have today, none of them can give us an assurance that they are able to keep success for 50 years. So for that, I wouldn't want to go into the debate of comparing Koffi Olomide with anybody. I think it is a non-issue. I think it is baseless, and I think it is lack of respect to compare him with anybody right now in the industry. Having said that, the concert was officially supposed to start at around 6 p.m. But you know the way African time happens, you know, people come late. So the concert officially started at around 9:40 towards 8 is when Katelate was on the podium, and they were doing the balance and, you know, doing the instrumentals and stuff. But of course, the gates were open at around 5:30. People were already streaming in, and then there was the DJ and also special acts that were there. So kind of those of us hi Mulongi. So actually those of us that got into the stadium earlier, we kind of got to see everything, the acts, the DJ and all that. So the ambience was already given. Now, when the Katelate climbed the podium at around 19:40 towards 8 p.m., of course, the generics that have been in our hearts, you know. Those were like the generics that they were playing. It was like a medley of the generics in the albums that you love. You know, we had the sound, the famous sounds from Magie, from Droit de Veto, from Ultimatum, from Efrakata. All those interesting or great generics that we all love from Mopao. That was how they started. And of course, the ambience was giving. I have seen that people are already, you know, it is very viral that there is a part or a group of fans that are already, you know, spreading the information. I summary analyze. Yes. I am analyzing the concert of the 70-year-old artist, Koffi Olomide. Thank you, Papi. Thank you, Papi. So already you had the feeling that the ambience was already there. I do not understand why it is such a big deal that the stadium was not filled. Ferre was not around. Ferre did not perform. The artists that came that came for the event were Inosbi and Gali Gavey. Those are the artists that attended. I will come to that later on because I have my own personal point of view about those artists not attending, or the artists that actually perform rumba. Now, people who are complaining, or people who are from another camp, have been, you know, talking that the stadium was not filled up, and you know, a lot of yipping and yapping on social media. I do not want to counter discuss with them, but I think as somebody who was already there on the spot, I can give my own point of view and say that for an artist to have people come to attend his 70th birthday and have the ambience that we had on that stadium is not a child's play. Those artists that think that they have the success right now are barely 50 years old. They are barely having even 20 albums. They barely have 15 albums. So we will give them time and see if they are able to collect 26 or 27 albums in a span of 50 years. Most of them have already gone into 20 years of their career, and they are not even up to 10 albums. So that is not a debate that we can discuss. I think that the contribution that Mopao has given into that kind of an industry, he does not merit to be compared with people who are not half his level. That is just my own opinion. I can debate about it, I can discuss about it, but I do not think that he is in any league with anybody. First of all, this is an artist that has played with, he has performed in all the generations of rumba. So if you have somebody who is only on the fifth generation of rumba, that kind of an artist has no idea what it is to be in the second, in the first, or in the third generation of rumba. The person has no idea. Those were eras where there was no social media. Those were eras where African artists were not recognized in the international scene. You had to impose that recognition in the international scene without social media. So that, when you have that in your mind, then you already know that somebody like Mopao cannot be compared with people in the second or in the fifth generation of rumba. Now, before the concert, people had already requested Mopao that he does the singing. You know, people were like, you know, the concert at the ENG Arena, you know, Madame was singing and it was okay, but now people had, you know, people were hungry for him to sing, and he gave us that. Mopao sang, I think, 8 or 9 songs that were just his own songs alone, and that it was nice. Thank you for acknowledging that. And he respected the fact that people wanted him to perform the songs that he performed alone in the earlier years. His ancient albums, he sang them alone. He sang Parking Ya Bababa. he sang Chacho du Saucier, he sang Bambino, he sang Sans Envers, he sang Étoile d'État later on came around. There was Loi, there was Mondarab that was already also in the medley around there. But you needed to see how people were engaging with him. That kind of an engagement with an artist, if you have not been able to win the hearts of people, you cannot engage like that. You are not able to engage like that. I mean, even when he was just being introduced, when he was coming, the bare sight of his image, the stadium was uproar. People were screaming just at the bare sight of his image. You need to imagine what kind of an aura that is for you to be able to just, capture an entire crowd just with your image. And that is why I always say, this guy, Asa Moninga Nabinote, is not really your mate. You cannot measure what he has achieved with what everybody else is doing now. Now, let me go back to how the Katelate was already on stage before Mama C and then eventually Mopao. When Katelate was on stage, they performed Détresse. Of course, Détresse is one of the songs that was in the album Magie. Magie was the second album that was given to Katelate in 1994. Thank you for joining. In 1994. So, already, the whole time that the concert was going on, people were singing along to every damn song that was being sung on that podium. Can we just take a break for a moment and just describe how the podium was? The podium was massive. The sound was good. The organization was good. There was even a place for people who are handicapped. There was a place for VIP. The people who sat on the tribunes like us, we had a good view of the stage. There was water on the side for people who are going to be like, because of the heat and stuff. There was the emergency service of I think the doctors or people who would like rescue you if you faint or something. There was food and drinks was there. There was security was everywhere. The organization was top notch, and that you need to give it to him. That takes somebody who already has the experience of an industry to actually be able to pull that. Another thing that people probably do not know is that Mopao is the person who produced that event. It means from the money that was removed or spent to rent the stadium or to rent the podium or to buy the instrument or to pay the services of the police or the services of the Red Cross or the services of people who are engaging in the stadium, all that was managed and executed by Mopao himself. Now, this kind of a person cannot be compared with an artist who was given actually assistance 100% from his government. He barely did anything. You cannot compare Mopao and somebody who was actually like baby fed. He just sat somewhere and everybody and the government did practically everything for him. They rented the stadium, they bought the tickets, they did everything for him, and he just presented himself. Vis-a-vis somebody who spent money, did the organization, did the practices. The practices of Katelate was like 3 months old. So what we saw on the podium was a product of 3 months of a serious practice that was done. And that is why, for me, I think in the entire industry of Rumba Congolese, there will never be somebody who will ever match up to this man, whether you like it or not. Yes, there must be artists who are in the 5th generation who actually feel like they have made it. But if the time is rolled back and they are all put in the same level, they would never match up to this guy, even half of it. What he is achieving in 70 years, I doubt if these people will achieve. I really do not think so. I also don't think that their careers would last that long if they continue with this kind of consistency. Now, back to the concert. The most important thing for an artist to ever achieve is to win the hearts of people. This statement, I have heard it from Mopao very many times, that the best trophy an artist can ever get is the hearts of people. Even sportsmen, the trophy that you can earn, the best trophy you can ever earn, is the hearts of people. Yes, the stadium, he took the stadium, but he did not take the full capacity. I think he took half of it, which was about, hi, I'm just giving my analysis of the concert yesterday of Mopao, and just opening the floor opening the floor for discussion. So it was beautiful, it was wonderful. Now, like I was saying, the best trophy an artist can ever get is to win the hearts of people. When you win the hearts of people, then even the aura or the ambience around your event is felt. Brussels was moved. Everybody that was in that concert left satisfied. That is supposed to be what the French called réussite totale. When people come to watch you and they leave the concert and all of them are satisfied and they said the concert was good, we had the songs we wanted to sing, and Mopao sang with the same voice that we knew since 1977. Now that is a bullet. That is a bullet, because the kind of music they do, it needs a lot of vocal strength. It needs a lot of vocal capacity. So if you are not able to maintain that or train that over your years of career, then you might be considered as an underdog. Now we have a man who turned 70, who has about 28 albums, who has been singing since 1977 or 1979. He has been singing, he has been writing music, and he kept the same quality of his voice. When he was singing Désespoir, the same voice that he uses when when you listen to it on the studio is what we heard live. Now that kind of a quality is not given to everybody. I am also disappointed that the Congolese community does not seem to appreciate this man as much as they're supposed to appreciate him. Sometimes they say a prophet is not celebrated at home. But when we were going for the concert, I met Ivorians, I met Togolese, I met Kenyans, I met Tanzanians, I met Senegalese, I met people who came from other countries in Africa, and the excitement that they had all throughout the concert, you could tell that to us who are not Congolese, he probably means more than to you guys. Probably. I had that feeling that the Congolese community are a bit, maybe you're spoiled. Maybe you're spoiled because you have a lot of artists, so you have like a choice. We are willing to adopt him. And I think even the Ivory Coast also offered to adopt him. We are ready. Anytime he can come. Kenyans are ready for him. I mean, I was there with the Kenyan flag and I was screaming on top of my voice. And I said, Africa loves Mopao and Africa is supposed to be grateful. We need to say thank you to this man because many of us have heard his songs, usher us through our childhoods and every other situations in life, your marriage, your relationship, whether you are parenting or, there is a way he does his music where you can relate to some situations, some societal situations in life. I am discussing Mopao's event, Koffi Olomide'S recent event, which happened yesterday in Brussels, where he was also commemorating 70 years. What I also, there's something I was talking about. I'm a bit disappointed that in the entire industry, with everything that Mopao has done to that industry, there was no one artist, Congolese artist who do rumba, who actually supported in one way or another. I did not see people posting or doing videos or showing up, or even just attending, or even just sending people to attend, or just, doing a promo video or something. I only saw posts maybe on Facebook. I saw videos from Inos and Fabregas and Gali Gave and Singila, but I wished that there was Congolese artists who do rumba who would have shown up to show appreciation to Koffi Olomide. Yeah. You might say that they are, yeah, I think so. That is also part of it, but it is really baseless. It is baseless. I think to compare somebody from the 5th generation of rumba and somebody who played, who performed with all the generations is really child's play. It is a non-issue. We cannot start with that. This is somebody that has the ability to compose music. If you cannot compose music, you cannot write music. Huh? Ozana Maele Akokoma Banzembo Te. You are not supposed to talk with where Mopao is talking. Let us just start from there. Huh? After that, you are not sure if you're going to hold your success for 50 years. It is not easy. It is not easy to hold your success for 50 years. Now, let me say something that is probably not related to the concert of Mopao. It is really out, is not anywhere related to the concert of Mopao. It is just history. During the time where the TPOK Jazz and Afrisa International were active, the TPOK Jazz had affiliations with the presidency at that time. And in essence, there was that negative effect on Afrisa. But then it went again, the time went over, the presidency was no longer there. And then there was also the series of the former presidents. Now, Maison Mère had affiliations with the government of that time. It meant also that BCBG had a little issues here and there. They couldn't perform or they couldn't do this and that and that. But that era also ended. Whatever you're going to use that information to do is left to you. But I just felt like I should just throw it out there. I felt like I should just throw it out there. You also need to give Mopao his flowers because the kind of promotions that he did, the way that guy did the promotions, first of all, when you get into Brussels, their main train station, there was a big poster of Mopao and the concert right when you get into that, when you get into the train station. That is not child's play. There were buses that had the images of the concert. He was constantly posting. He was everywhere. He went to the people in the market. He went to the train station itself. He was snapping pictures. I met an Ivorian lady who said, I was in the salon and then somebody told me in that restaurant, Mopao is there, I should go. And I went, and he talked to me, and we made photos, and I felt good, and I even called my brother and stuff. So this is to show you how massive this guy went, how far he went to do his promotion for the event. That is not given to everybody. Now, as I close, because I wasn't going to be live for a very long time, I just needed to give an analysis of how the concert went. I love the fact that the organization was top notch. Time was respected. The event started on time and it ended on time. Organization was there. People were considered. People who had incapabilities were considered. There was water, wine. We were getting in. We were scanning our tickets, and then there were bottles of free water. You do not get it simple. You don't get it anywhere. I have been to very many concerts, but there was no one time where I went to a concert and there was free water when you get in. When the concert ended, we could all get into the trains free without buying tickets. That was already also sorted by yours truly. And when you listen to us calling him a legend, you think it's a joke. It is not, because the rest of you cannot do what it is. I like the organization. I also like the fact that the voice that we know from Mopao ever since Ngobila is the same voice we had yesterday at Stade Bodouin. And that is a message to everybody. If you are an artist and you cannot guard your voice for even a little span of 10 years, then you do not have any reason to debate in front of people like Mopao. Because you need to work on your voice, first of all. You need to work on your voice. You need to work on doing things on your own without being assisted like a child. And then you can debate with people. But if it is that, then you go debate with children and leave the adults to do their things. Thank you for the compliment. I also love the fact that the concert was very nostalgic. The songs that he sang were very nostalgic. We had songs that actually made us fall in love with Mopao in the first place. There was no one person that got into that stadium that left uncontented. Everybody was happy. In fact, when we were walking towards the train station, everybody was singing Bilad de Travail. People sang Respect. People were soaked in the emotions of Mopao. And that can only be a legend. If the Congolese community, they are called masterpieces, but chef-d'oeuvre, those are timeless. They are timeless hits. And it takes a great artist to be able to do masterpieces. If the Congolese community cannot appreciate what this man has done to the industry, then the rest of Africa is going to do that. Because I'm very sure the rest of Africa does that. It is only the Congolese community that probably have a few, they have their options here and there. But the rest of Africa is proud of what this man has done to the music of African music. The things that artists boast of today, was started by people like him. That you can impose respect on the world stage and people can actually refer to you. Kenya will adapt him and they'll even the Ivorians have sent a message to Mopao that, if they don't want you, come this side. We are ready. We will take you any day, anytime. And I think maybe you should consider that. Why not? Why not? People enjoyed themselves. Katelate sang very well. Mopao sang a lot, which was like the wish of everybody. He sang the songs people wanted to listen to, people who are dancing, people who are happy, people sang along. And that is what they call winning the hearts of people. When you win the hearts of people, it is more than any award you would get, any views you would get, any streams you would make. Because when you have the hearts of people, then you have their love for a lifetime. Then you have their lives for a lifetime. So my impression of the concert, it was the way the French say, réussite totale. Discussing the history of Tipioke Jazz and the legacy of Mopao. I enjoy the fact that Koffi sang without ma. Yes, yes. That was also something that was very remarkable. There was barely any mabanga. It was just him singing, and he sang his heart out. Mopao sang up to the last minute. When the concert was over, he was still singing. He was still singing. I also love the fact that when the concert ended, he appreciated the fans. He had a very emotional message of gratitude to the fans that actually made him. Beyond band membership, maybe artists feel he hasn't done enough to promote them. I think he has. Maybe it's just because there was always beef. You know that ever since Wenge came into the picture, the story changed. It was also it was when Wenge came into the picture is when now, you know, the scenario changed. It was always you are which camp or you're which camp, and then, you know, it was no longer about music anymore. Yeah. It was super. It was beautiful. Even the musicians was privileged to do the yeah. I love that. I really love that. And people were people enjoyed it. People enjoyed. I am even wondering, why is this debate about filling up a stadium? What is the debate about? When you are a musician, what is your first objective when you are doing an event? When you're doing an event, your first objective is to do a good concert that will stay in the hearts of people and to satisfy the audience that came to watch you. I mean, according to me, that should be the objective of an artist. But when your objective is to fill a hall or an arena or a stadium, then you might forget your focus. You might forget your objective and actually not satisfy your fans, which is probably what normally happens most of the time on the other side. They barely satisfy the crowd because it's always a problem, complaining from one problem to another. Oh, he didn't do this, or he danced too much, or he did this thing. But anyway, something that happened was just after the event, there's a particular artist who posted, yeah, what a fucking king. I was like, you cannot get as petty as that. The point that Mopao is making, according to me, I mean, I stand to be corrected. It's a debate, it is open. But I think the point that Mopao wanted to make with the concert that happened yesterday is that there is nothing new under the sun. Anybody can perform in a stadium. Anybody. There is nothing special about anybody. Any artist who puts his objective and his determination can perform in any hall that they want. And I think that was the point that Mopao wanted to make. So please, guys, don't make it look like you're above the world or you're super ordinary. No. Filing the I know. That is what I'm talking about. And when Koffi was playing live yesterday, yeah, it's just, you know, trying to cause distraction, but it just shows how tiny your mind is. Is showing how tiny your brain is. Because if you think that the world revolves around you, then you need to wake up. You are not the only artist in the world. You're not the only artist in the industry. You're not the only artist in the country. Everybody can do whatever you're doing. In fact, everybody else is doing without help. This one person is being helped by everybody around you. That shows you how weak the person is. I didn't mention names, but that is just it. That's my own opinion. I think he is the weakest artist that country has ever produced, because he cannot do anything by himself. I have not seen anything that he has done by himself. He's always being helped by this person or this person or this organization or this person. I am yet to see that artist doing something alone without any assistance. So for that, I think we need to give Mopao his flowers. The fact that he is the person who produced his own event. No, he has a tiny brain. He's not a He's here. There's a problem. So we need to give him his flowers. It is not every artist that can produce themselves in such a big stage or in such a big scene, international scene. We need to give him his flowers for maintaining for 50 years. It is not easy to maintain success. It is you might be number one today, but maintaining number one for 50 years is not a child's play. He has not even reached 50 and he can't sing on his own. So what are we even debating about? There's a non-starter. He's a child. You cannot start debating about him. It is one thing to be successful, but it's another thing to maintain your success for over 50 years. It is another thing to have the ability to write and compose music and produce albums, over 26 of them, and all of them be successful, and all of them be active, and all of them being listened to up to today. You should see the way people were happy when he was singing Kukulu. When he was singing Kuku. And Kuku is an album that was released, I think, in 1985. I think that is how old Kuku is. Mbabula. Those are albums that they were performed in mid-80s, but they were still active until they're still fresh until today. Also, being active on the scene until the age of 70 is not a child's play. So, as I close my live, we will all sit back and wait for our artists who are now actually reigning to get to 70 with success, to get over 25 albums of success, to maintain their voice up to the age of 70 and actually perform in a big stage like what we did yesterday at that age. At that age. So, thank you guys for all that joined. My impressions of the concert yesterday is that it was a success, and it was a demonstration that the best success story of an artist is when he has won the hearts of people. And we can say without a doubt that Mopao has actually won. He has actually won the hearts of Africans. He has won the hearts of people. People love him. People loved his music. People love his music. Yes, we will wait until they get 60. So to you all, have a very, very wonderful evening. And we'll see you on the other side.